We're going to give you a day in the life of a £250 million assets under management financial advisor. I like to do the same thing every single day when we get up. But, helping clients plan, invest, protect, retire, transfer wealth. You have to find what works for you. 100%. You shouldn't be just doing something because someone else does it. One of the things I see advisors struggle with, we speak to a lot of advisors that are growing their own books and they're self-employed and that sort of thing, is identifying the right moment to bring someone into your team. Yeah, I was probably at my peak spending 60 to 70% on new business. You need to have a really strong relationship, not just a transactional relationship. Yeah. So many people are busy fools. And what I mean by that is they focus on the tasks that don't generate the revenue, or they're trying to be control freaks and they try and manage absolutely everything themselves. So welcome back to Don't Shoot the Messenger with myself, Chris Ball, and again today I'm lucky enough to be joined by Jonathan J, who heads up our UK business, and we've got an interesting one, and this is one someone actually asked us to do, believe it or not, which is a day in the life of a financial advisor. And not only are we going to give you that, we're going to give you a day in the life of a £250 million assets under management financial advisor, and what that actually looks like and what financial advisors actually do all day. Hopefully it gives you a really good insight into what we've been doing and what we do. So today, JJ and I, like I said, are going to pull back the curtain on what a day really looks like as, two advisors managing £250 million each. So as I kind of said, I'll let JJ introduce himself in a minute, but I run, obviously, Hoxton Wealth. I'm the CEO of the group operations. We manage over $3 billion of assets. But I personally built up a book along the way of £250 million, flip-flopping in between dollar and pounds of assets. And it took me about 5 years to do so. Obviously, having some great clients and some great support from my team. But, it's not just me saying this is someone who sits on the other side of the fence, actually in the shoes as well. And JJ, I know you've got great experience as well.
Yes. Thank you. So I'm Jonathan J. My Hoxton name is JJ, and very excited to share some of our experiences. Talk about things like routines, client meetings, marketing yourself, the qualifications, and the things that people don't tell you about what it takes to grow a big book and to be successful as a financial advisor.
Awesome. So let's get to it. So what financial advisors really do all day? What does, first off, let's just start off by defining what actually a financial advisor does.
Yeah, this is good actually, because it's a good place to start, because this is something I talk to our advisors about. Yeah. And your elevator pitch. Yeah. Because a lot of advisors I find are not very good at actually saying what we do. And for me, my elevator pitch is, as a financial planner, we help clients to find ways to make use of their personal finances as a tool to live out the home street dreams and aspirations.
Yeah.
That is that, in a nutshell, that is what we do.
Encapsulates it very, very well.
Yes.
Within one sentence, isn't it? And it's super, it's mad how many people don't actually know how to explain what they do very well. You ask them, they kind of go, I can't do a bit of investments and tax planning for clients, and there's, but you've just lost someone already. Yeah. There's just whatever. But helping clients plan, invest, protect, retire, transfer wealth, these are all the good things that a financial planner will do.
For sure. I think a lot of advisors use the technical stuff as a crutch, and they've got to immediately show that they've got technical knowledge. You're not going to do that in 30 seconds. Just really neatly highlight what you do is super important.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not that we're just number crunchers. A big part of the job is obviously helping people make decisions, sometimes emotional ones, about their money. And actually,
always.
Yeah, always. So actually, for me, that's actually when you really know that you have helped the client. So you haven't necessarily helped them with just transferring them from one thing into another. Actually, when I get the most satisfaction out of the job as a advisor is when actually I've sat down and helped someone plan and really got into what's important to them and can understand how that shapes it out.
Yeah, for sure. And you see those light bulb moments with a client of when you can sense when you truly had an impact. That's why we do it. That's why you should do it. If you lead with that, you'll be super successful.
Yeah, definitely. So let's start off with the day then. So obviously from night turns into day. We obviously have the morning. So, do you have a morning routine? Or how do you normally start your day?
Yeah, I definitely have a morning routine. I have to because I've got 2 kids now. And I've always had a morning routine. I'm very, I like to do the same thing every single day when I get up. So I would typically get up at 5:30 in the morning and get myself up and straight away, for me personally, into emails. I like to, clearly, as we've got businesses around the world, we've got offices around the world. I hear, when I've been in the UK, I hear from you and the team very early in the morning. So I like to just get up and make sure that there's no nasties and that I know what to expect of the day and review my diary as well and understand exactly what to expect of that day before I do anything.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it's, from what you said there, like what I found actually is that most successful financial planners actually crave routine.
Yeah.
And they all have their own strict routines that they normally stick to, and they're quite disciplined in their approach. My morning routine normally is I'll wake up. I do have 3 children as well, but thankfully I normally wake up before they've got up as well. I find that's like the calm part of my day.
For sure.
I normally wake up about 4 a.m. now. I'll sit and flick through the stories overnight on the news stories on my iPhone, catching up on what Arsenal have done, catching up on anything else interested, business or whatever's been done, and then I'll start to ease into my day. The next thing I do is go into my bathroom, make myself start getting ready for the gym. So I normally have my clothes laid out the night before that I'm going to wear to the gym, and also my work clothes. So when I come up, I don't have to turn the light on and wake my wife up, who will no doubt give me grief, and probably rightly so. And then I go down and I'll typically do a workout in my gym that I have in my house. And by gym, I mean it's my dungeon. It's in my garage. It's got my running machine. It's got my weights. It's got my bench press. It's got all the other bits and pieces that I enjoy using. And I give myself time to get into the day, like those first bits. I actually normally watch a podcast as well when I'm doing it, or a YouTube video. Watch a lot of US investing videos at the moment. I still like the Diary of a CEO. I still like Tim Ferriss. I still like what's the other one called? Jake Humphrey's one. And I find that kind of starts getting me in tune with what's going on. Obviously, I'm not going to hold my hands up straight. I normally check my WhatsApps as well. I'm not one of these people. I'm not going to look at my phone or whatever. I want to know what's going on or whatever's happened. And obviously, with the UK and US being further ahead, it's actually good to have a little flick through and get going. And then from there, I do enjoy taking my kids to school. So I take my oldest to. They have sports that start early in the UAE. We leave their house at 6:20.
Wow.
They'll be in for 6:45 with their before school sports starting at 7, and that's a nice bit of the day with them. And then if I drop them off at that time, I can normally be in work for 7, and then we're cracking on. But same routine pretty much every day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting though, isn't it? That because still the same routine, but done slightly differently.
Yeah.
Which is important as we go through this, that you have to find what works for you.
100%. You shouldn't be just doing something because someone else does it.
Yeah.
I found that as well. Like you've got to do what works well for you. And there's bits, actually one thing I forgot adding that is I do a bit of reading as well, because I like learning something in the morning, and it kind of gets my brain going and stuff like that. And I was meditating at one point, and then I found I just wasn't really into it. It wasn't really working for me, but it helped quite a lot of the time with focus. So I think you've got to try different bits as well. And also, every now and again, it won't happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not letting it throw you off your day as well. Yeah, exactly. You're just not letting it completely ruin your day because you didn't get up and you didn't manage to do the workout or whatever it is. But I do find that exercise first thing in the morning gets me like in the rhythm and moving for the rest of the day. Water.
Yeah, which is for me personally, I struggle not to just get straight into emails and stuff and get straight into understanding what my day's going to look like and the things I've got to do. If I get a bit of anxiety if I wait an hour or two or try and do something first thing in the morning, because until I've got that really clear picture of what my day's going to look like, I struggle a bit. So that's the first thing I have to do.
So obviously structure then is key for you.
Yes.
Like what are the big buckets of the job? What are the things that, how you structure your day then when you're in the office?
Yeah. So this is something that I haven't always got right for sure. But I try and introduce it whenever it falls off, or reintroduce it whenever it falls off, is making sure first thing in the office, having time carved out that's not disturbed by other people, that you can answer your emails, get through your emails and start your day properly. If you can clear your emails and clear any quick win tasks first thing in the morning, you're off to a winner. So I believe in getting your day off to a good start. I can't remember the name of the naval commander or whatever from
the speech.
Yes, about making your bed first thing in the morning. But I do believe that if you can get your day off to the right start, tick a few of those items off, get your emails done, and be super protective over that time, particularly when you're leading people. Which if you are looking after a big book, you're going to be leading people, which we'll come on to. But making sure you get off to a positive start and get stuff done first thing in the morning.
100%.
That's the first key thing for me.
Yeah, it's getting those things ticked off, isn't it?
For sure.
I think when I was looking after clients and taking on new clients more so, I would always start by clearing off the night's emails. So get in, and I had a roundup of the emails that were sent to me typically about 6:30 p.m. when my PA would leave, called end of days. It'd have all the emails that I needed responded to that would be in there, and then I would just start going through them and getting them done. Some people actually interestingly say you shouldn't start with your emails, but for me, I quite like just clearing them off and getting them done. And I think that next it's you've got to put things into buckets, but I have when I'm going through the emails at the start, I have what's called a 5-minute rule. If it's going to take me longer than 5 minutes, I schedule in time to do it. If it's 5 minutes or less, I'll just do it there and then.
Sure.
Because then it doesn't distract me from getting through what I want to do. But that quick win early in the morning, having a clean inbox that's filtered out from the night before, it's like, to breathe, and having a scan for if anything else as important has come in. I would then meet with my team. So we'd have a team catch up. So I get in the office about 7. It'd take me about an hour to do my emails, get sorted, and then about 8:30, have meet with the team, and we discuss the day ahead, who's doing what needs to get done, what the critical tasks, and start to make that to-do list.
Sure.
I still do it now. I have 5 tasks that I need to get done. So I put 5 tasks in my diary on Microsoft Planner. Works really well. I know I need to get done to get me closer towards my goals. So my goals previously was I wanted to build a book of over 200 million. What did I have to do? The second thing that I would also encourage people is not to get stuck in the detail. So many people are busy fools. And what I mean by that is they focus on the tasks that don't generate the revenue, or they're trying to be control freaks and they try and manage absolutely everything themselves. Separate into what are called pound and penny tasks. Pound tasks are the tasks that only you can do and that add the revenue and that add the value to your clients. The penny tasks are what other people in your team, you've employed them to do to enable you to do more pound tasks.
Sure.
And I think the bigger you get, I hate it when people talk about investing in their team and they see it as a cost. Well, this is going to cost me more. It's not. Yeah, if you're doing this properly, it's going to free you up to be able to actually, it's an investment for you to be able to go and take on more within.
Remove those glass ceilings.
100%.
So if you, you have your team catch up, one of the things I think is important if you're growing a book of that size, what does your team look like?
Yeah. So my team looked like I had my PA. In the end, I actually had 3. So 2 admins, one for new business, one for existing clients, and another one for personal stuff. I had 2 business development managers who were going out and speaking to new people for me. One would be focused on more cold outreach, and one would be focused on inbound outreach to me. I found that the 2 people could never be good at both.
Yep.
They were either really good at cold outreach, and which meant they're normally quite not aggressive, but they're good at getting in front of people.
Sure.
And then the warmer, leads coming to us, these were things that needed more nurturing. And then I had 3 at the end paraplanners underneath me to help me service my clients and provide, if people don't want to wait 3 weeks for a response, they want to get a response pretty quickly. And I found that having those people there that were able to assist me, one was tasked with new business and 2 were tasked with the existing book to help me provide answers to those queries and to give value to the clients, really enabled me to focus on the top of the funnel bit and actual client interaction in meetings.
Sure. One of the things I see advisors struggle with, we speak to a lot of advisors that are growing their own books and they're self-employed and that sort of thing, is identifying the right moment to bring someone into your team.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
I think and I would always say, sometimes people look at it and they do it a bit too early. But also it does take time to train good people up as well. I think you can't no one comes in and is great straight away, or very rarely. So, I'd say there's normally 6 months before you need it is probably good, because then when you need it, they're already there and you're not having to fight fires.
Sure.
Because otherwise what you find is that if you haven't brought that person in, something else will drop. That'll either be your new business that you're bringing in, or it will be the service that you're providing to your existing clients. So, either one of them dropping off is not great. I don't think it's number of clients. I just think it's because you could have 20 clients, 10 million each, who you have to be very on the ball with and getting back to super quick. Or you could have 200 clients with 100,000 each, who you would probably do more of an annual review and things like that. So it just depends upon what kind of path and what level of service that you're doing and you're gearing up to. But I generally find the higher ticket stuff, you're going to need more people around you because they expect that white glove service. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's tough because, like you say, you mentioned cost and having to make an investment and that sort of thing, which is tough. But look, me growing a book at Investec was a lot easier because having that conversation. But I have to create a business case to the business as to why I need more support.
Yeah.
But you categorically cannot do it on your own.
No.
You have to have a team around you. You have to have power planning, admin support, and different levels of support around you. Because as you get bigger, your time's going to get squeezed more and more, and the areas that have made you successful, you're going to lose time with that. So you need to make sure that you constantly free up time to do the things that have made you successful.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because in the UK, the business development manager side is doesn't exist. A lot of people don't have it in their business, whereas internationally we know we have to have it.
Sure.
And obviously that's what we train people up initially. It's definitely something that I would encourage people to do. What kind of breakdown of your time when you as an advisor doing what activities, roughly what it would be. And the reason why I ask is because I was listening to a podcast the other day and they reckon actually of an advisor's time, they're only spending 25% of their time actually advising.
Which is crazy, isn't it?
Bonkers.
And that's why the team aspect is super important. Look, I think this changes depending on where you are in the journey. If you're at the beginning of your journey, 100% of your time should be on new clients.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Or the things that aid new clients. So things like marketing and brand, your personal brand and that sort of thing, and being visible and building up, introducer networks and that sort of thing. You should be spending the maximum amount of time finding new. That dial changes as you get bigger because you also have an existing book of clients you need to service.
Yeah.
I think once you get to sort of 100 million plus, I've actually put that around 40 to 50% of my time would be on existing clients.
Yeah.
Because I'm very big on service and not just contacting clients when you have a review or when you need to. It's actually the way you build a proper relationship where a client will pick up the phone to you, and you become their main point of contact for anything they need professionally. You need to have a really strong relationship, not just a transactional relationship.
Yeah.
So once you get 100 million plus, I think that's the sort of level you need to be at. But you always need to have, I've actually put 30%, 20% of my time on new.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, 10% on marketing and things like that as well.
Yeah.
So you need to be spending a good chunk of your day still. If you have ambitions to grow bigger and beyond that, you need to always have time for new.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can never stop prospecting.
Yeah.
As I forget the guy's name now. But he's what is the guy's name? I think you recommended me the books.
Paul Armstrong.
No, there's another guy. I'll find out and I'll put it in the description. But the day you stop prospecting, your business starts to fold. So it has to be an important part, but you definitely do have to focus on delivering that white glove treatment, unless, and I say this, unless your business model is that you are the front advisor, you bring people in and you build a servicing team around you that go on and service those clients. There's nothing wrong with that either. And I actually think, as long as you're upfront to the clients about that, like, look, I'm speaking to you now, I'll still be here to oversee, but actually these are the people that are going to be servicing you. There's actually nothing wrong with that.
No.
And I think playing to your strengths is important.
For sure. And a client, actually, I think there's a lot of positive that comes from the team approach to a client. I think a client likes the idea of if you go to a legal practice, you'll have paralegals and other people assisting the lawyer that's working with you, and that team approach works really well, I think. But also what I was going to say with the existing part is that is not taking you away necessarily from new.
Agreed.
Because there's plenty of opportunity with existing clients. So whether you are involved in doing that and finding those opportunities, or you have a really good servicing team who can spot those opportunities, that is really important as well. You can't neglect that.
Yeah, agreed. And there's also kind of seasonal things as well, isn't there, that goes along as well. So you've obviously got like tax year end. That's always fun. As we know, summer might be a bit slower as people go away. Although interestingly, for us as a business, it's actually been our biggest 3 months, June, July and August, progressively bigger, which has been really interesting.
So challenge your thinking on that as well, isn't it? It's if you believe that a period of the year is going to be quieter, you'll approach it as if it's quieter.
100%.
Try and do more.
It's all in people's heads.
Yes.
Like, I cannot say that enough. Like, what you believe becomes true.
For sure.
So you really need to, as Margaret Thatcher says, you really need to manage your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then you start to believe your own bullshit, basically.
For sure.
But it's false emotions appearing real, isn't it? It's like you kid yourself into thinking it. But look, there's definitely times when things are different. And, I would say that tax year end is much more about, speaking to existing clients for me and making sure that all of that stuff was done and in and off, and we utilised the allowances that we could, and we were kind of moving on. And then, maybe I spent more time business developing over the summer if some of my clients were away, and focused on that. So definitely periods of time, but I think, as a general rule of thumb, I was probably at my peak spending 60 to 70% on new business. Sure. And I had my team working with me to help me manage my new clients, because I realised that's what I was strong at, and that's the value that I could bring. I had a great team around me that were actually much better at servicing the clients and providing the value to them. Of course, the clients still wanted to talk to me and know I was there, but the actual work and the admin process and everything was being delivered by then. So it's different horses for different courses, and you need to basically build it up for, whatever suits you best and play to your strengths.
For sure. 100%.
What are the unexpected parts of the job then? So, things people wouldn't think advisors actually do as part of their day-to-day role.
We actually work and don't just sit at lunches at the time, which is important. We don't just walk around golf courses as well. There is I think the things that people underestimate or don't quite grasp is the level of emotional energy that's needed for it. Yeah. So counselling, dealing with death for your clients or their family members, or they go through divorce, and the trickier conversations, and the conversation, like, it's not just about winning business. It's that you're going to take your clients, if you look after your clients properly, you're actually going to take them on a real journey through their life, and there are going to be moments where it's really tough, and that can be emotionally due to personal reasons, or it can be financial as well. If you wake up, I can assure you, if you wake up and markets have dropped 20-30%, brace yourself for a tricky day.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, is it? No. It's being that emotional anchor, definitely. I kind of also found that actually parts of the job, we talked about it earlier, marketing. I actually spent a lot of my time researching and looking at different marketing channels, honing my skills on that, and spent a disproportionate amount of my time, way more than I ever thought I would as a financial advisor, trying to get good at that, because I knew that was the route into clients. I think, it's kind of like a lot of these things, we called it intrapreneurial before, but it's you're operating your own business within a business, and obviously within the frameworks of the top business kind of govern. For a lot of people, a lot of financial planners, you do need to be good at a multitude of different skills. You need to be good at HR. You have to be good at managing people. You need to be good at bringing people on. You will lose good people unless you offer them opportunity. Much the same as most of us. If you were sold, you can only ever do this, and you will always be stuck there, you're going to lose interest pretty bloody quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I would. So you have to be able to offer those opportunities. And actually what I find is a lot of advisors don't like that part and really aren't interested in it. So they need help with that part too. But the management side was definitely an unexpected part of the job as well.
Yeah, for sure. And look, definitely not everyone is good at it. And I think if you are not good at it, try and find ways to be good at it. Learn how you can be good. If it's something you don't believe you can upskill in, whether it is management, maybe you need a sort of practice manager, or you need someone within your team.
Hire in.
Help. Yeah. So bring in resource that can help you cover your own cracks.
So what makes a good team then? Like, to around you, like what actually, like, who is integral to your team? We spoke about it. I actually gave you the outline of my team and what I had. But actually, what makes each of those positions good? So what makes an admin good? What makes a paraplanner good? What makes a business development manager good? Across all three, for me, one of the key traits was organisation and how quick they react. So if they were slow and were it wouldn't fit with my pace.
For sure.
So they had to be quick, and they had to want to move it and get back things quick. But also organisation is a big thing as well, because the bigger your team, one person not being organised within that team or not following the processes that you've all set completely stuffs it.
For sure. And that you just mentioned that word, process. You have to find people that are able to follow a process, because you need to determine what the process looks like for you and how you work, and then the team needs to be able to slot into that. Otherwise it'll be too disjointed and it just won't work. You need to be very clear as to what your expectations are, what time people need to get stuff done in, what style and manner they need to get stuff in, and you need to make sure that you bring people in that fit that mold. If you're a super technical person that leans more into the technical with a client, you need to make sure you've got a really technical paraplanner. If you're a sales focused, growth focused advisor that needs a paraplanner, we need paraplanners that are technical, of course, but you might need a paraplanner that can operate at a certain pace. So it's about just defining what your process is, defining how you want to work and what your expectations are, and making sure that the team are aligned with that.
I think building out documents like that is like building out a document. I mean, we do it for most roles now, and like this is what is expected of you. And the whole purpose of that is like, not everyone is right for you to work with, and you're like working super close with each other, so you need to have a relationship. And where we've implemented that in roles, I found a big uplift in the quality, because it scares off the people that look at it and go, this isn't me. They don't want to work like that.
For sure.
So therefore, it's much better to know up front for you and for them.
For sure.
That it's not going to, and it also means they don't like end up leaving their job somewhere else to come and work with you, and all the rest of stuff. So it does cause or save you from having a lot of headaches
100%
later down the line. But for me, it's super important to have a great team around you, because you will never ever be able to hit the heights of hundreds of millions of assets, even billions. Some of the guys in the US manage, without having a shit hot team around you, and and that are able to help you. There's kind of a phrase which is your network can help multiply your business.
Yes.
Faster than any single marketing tactic.
Your network is your net worth.
Yeah, 100%. It's so true, isn't it? So existing clients versus new clients, balancing it. We've kind of touched on it a bit. What's the right split?
In terms of time, or in terms of what your book looks like?
Whatever. Time, let's say. Let's go for time, because we're doing a day in.
Yeah. Look, I think no matter what and how big your book grows, you need to always look for new, because there is no, I don't believe in limitation. We talked about $250 million. Why can't it be $1 billion? Why can't it? But you need to find a structure where you can start to delegate tasks out to, if we talk about the team structure, you have associate advisors within your team that can look after clients, and then you can focus on taking on more. You need to constantly, I think I would set a limit on never letting your time on new drop below 20% of your day. That's to have time every single day for new.
Yeah.
And you need to figure out what your best approach is to finding new. For me, it was always professional connections, working with other professionals. But you need to figure out what it is and be laser focused on that.
100%. Focus and energy equals results.
Correct.
What I think on that is that I don't think there's a right split. I think it's up to you in terms of what advisor that you want to be. Naturally, if you're more new client focused, then you should do that. I think also what I don't like is people holding on to clients just for the sake of holding them on. I don't think that gives, just for the sake of just having them there. Like, you're never ever going to give them the best value and the best service that you can. So for the client's sake, it's actually better off for you to move them along to someone that will. And we've all been there. Like, as your career progresses with whatever you do, very rarely do you hold on to that same subset of clients the whole way through. And actually, where we've bought businesses and we've seen that happen, the guys that have been with them the longest are the guys that need the most advice.
For sure.
Because it's just, they got into some weird patter, which is probably turn up, have a few biscuits, have a cup of tea, talk about how their week's gone or what's gone on in their life, and then they move on. So that's not what a financial planner should be doing, and the value that they should be delivering. And as an advisor, you want to grow, and you will continue to help people with bigger problems typically and more. And sometimes you plateau, and that's the area that you like hitting, and then maybe then you do just focus on a small subset. But I think holding on to clients for that sake of it is not right.
No, I agree. You need to make sure that level of service and care and attention, and even having a different set of eyes, whether it's a power planner or an associate advisor or whatever in your team, is useful.
Yeah, definitely. Qualifications, growth, and continuous learning. How much of your day was spent on that? I mean, a lot of yours when you started your business, because you was doing your CFP.
Yes. Look, I constantly did exams for the first 8 years of being in the profession. So I spent lots and lots of time. It depends on what stage you're at. But I think regardless, even if you're as highly qualified as you possibly can be, you need to still make sure you're learning or learn new things, developing. And you have to, if you're in the UK, you have to do 35 hours of CPD. 35 hours of CPD is not a lot.
It's 3 hours a month.
Yeah. It's so that's not particularly aspirational, but it's things like making sure you're keeping an eye on current affairs and what's happening in the world and what's impacting client portfolios. Even if you are a passive, have a bias towards passive, you still need to know what's going on in the world to be able to articulate what's impacting a client's portfolio. You need to be really on top of that. You need to. I think what's also important with that is having an opinion. So to create a dialogue with a client, you need to have an opinion. You need to know. You'll get some sophisticated clients are pretty well informed. You're going to struggle with them if you're not.
Yeah.
So I think that's important.
I think we need to dispel this myth as well that like passive just means you put them in and forget about it and never ever look at it. We'll never ever talk about it. No.
Well, we talked about emotional and behavioural stuff. That all feeds into that. So you need to be able to sort of help a client zoom out and also sort of temper them as well. So I think that's important. But look, legislation changes all the time.
Yeah.
You cannot suggest to me that you know everything and you know what's to come and you're fully up to date with absolutely everything all the time, because what we do is pretty complex. Tax structures and how you do things is pretty complex. You need to constantly be refreshing what you do.
Definitely, 100%. One of the questions that I constantly ask people in no matter what job they apply for is, what have you done recently to push yourself outside of qualifications and learn more?
Yeah.
And if they aren't telling me that they've done something, they will lower down in my they will be lower down in my estimates. If someone has been out their way to go on a course, they've been out their way to go on something that is not necessarily to do with just what their profession is, I think that makes you so much more of a rounded person, and it shows the type of person that you are, that you want to be pushed, you want to learn, you want to grow. And with our kind of three values as a business, it's super, super important.
Yeah, for sure. So for you, slightly differently to me, you grew a £250 million book as well as running a big business. For anyone that suggests they don't have the time to personally develop, how much time have you committed over the last few years in particular?
Loads. I mean, I go to courses. I read every day. That's one thing I do. Every single day I read. I try and read at least 20 pages of books. I read books on investing. I read books on sales. I read books on marketing. I read books on people that interest me, biographies. I find that is a great way. Like I've said it before, a book is someone's life work suppressed into 300 to 400 pages.
For sure.
And generally they've normally been pretty successful for you to read it. So why would you not? So books is a good one. The second one is I go on course. Actually, I went on Alex Hormozi. I don't know if you've ever seen him. So he owns a company called acquisitions.com. And if you see him, he walks around in a tank top. He's got this big beard and like a hat, very American.
Oh, I think
yeah, you probably have seen him.
Yeah.
I actually flew out to to Las Vegas, to their headquarters, had meetings with them and their team and went on a course there. I've been out 3 times. I think I'm due to go back out again soon. And I learned so much about marketing and so much about business outside of what we do that, it was super valuable. But I crave new things. I'm going to Future Proof next week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and tell people about myself. I'm going to find out what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm super interested, and that's, it's a way to learn. So yeah, I think doing those things, and I think people make excuses, but you cannot grow and continue to get better if you're not, taking those things in. How about you?
Yeah, I always commit time. Dangerous telling you this. I've signed up to another exam.
Have you? Oh God.
Series 60.
Oh, I did. Actually, Faye told me that.
Did she?
Yes. She said you were looking, and she said you were looking for it because I was asking her when she was going to do it.
What a snitch. Yeah. So again, I want to, not even necessarily that I'm going to write a load of US business, but if I'm in a business that is global and we do business, US business, I want to be able to understand if the stuff's been talking about, if I can support people, all that. I want to be able to, and also not being qualified when others are. Don't like it. So so
competition coming out in you, mate.
Yes, I will be doing that at some stage. So you've got, like you say, you've got to. If you ever feel comfortable, you're in a bad spot.
100%.
You have to be in discomfort.
You are not taking it seriously.
Correct.
I mean, look, even as £250 million advisors and planners, we're still studying still taking exams and still learning. It's just part of the role. It's just what you got to do, isn't it? It's super, super key. So I think we've covered a lot there. Now we're getting to the end of our day.
Yeah.
What does the end of the day look like for you? Do you have like a lot of people have like almost like a wind down routine that they have at the end of their day? Do you have anything?
I'm terrible for this. I don't wind down.
No.
I
just go to bed.
I don't even go to bed.
Yeah.
No, it's actually the most important part of my day, I think. The beginning and the end sets everything. So for me, it's reflecting and looking at the day, reflecting on the things that have gone well and not gone so well is important, but also getting ready for the next day.
Yeah.
Don't just wake up in the morning to take on the day. Wake up in the morning with what to expect, what your diary looks like, making sure that everything's ready. You talk about having your gym kit ready the night before. Like having everything ready for a strong start gets you off to a winner. So that is super important for me.
100%. For me, it's making sure I get enough sleep. I found when years when I was not getting enough sleep, I wasn't making it anywhere near the right decisions. I was snappy, irritable. I do get the same when I'm hungry as well. And maybe it's just me in general, but I definitely need sleep. So I need to make sure that I get 7 hours like that. That's good. If I don't operate as well as I can. Obviously want to see my wife and my kids as well, and make sure that I spend time with them. That is difficult though if you have late calls and everything else like that. I don't really have a set routine though. Like I know some people like they have like this whole wind down thing, which I would love to implement, but I just find the start of the day I can control, the end of the day I don't. But I think what you said was really true, which is like prepping for the next day makes a big difference. Like laying out your gym kit, laying out your work clothes, making it so you don't have to think in the morning, you don't find those excuses not to do it. Is like if I put out my gym clothes and I walk into the bathroom and I've not gone to the gym in the morning, I could feel like, well, you've let yourself down here.
Well, you can comment on this. I obviously report into you, and we have lots of meetings. There's very few, hopefully never, meetings that I turn up and there's no prep being done, or I don't know what we need to cover or whatever. And that's really important for me. I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let other people down. So don't get up in the morning and go, oh no, I didn't realise that I had that in my diary.
Exactly.
That's terrible.
Or getting 5 minutes before and going, oh, I don't even know what we're meeting about.
Exactly.
That is not a good meeting, is it? And it's super key. But that prep work, it's like the end of the week, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but on a Sunday, I normally spend 5 to 6 hours on the Sunday preparing for the Monday. So all my emails will be cleared. All of my managers' videos that they send me will be watched. And when I was advising, it would be going through and understanding what I've got on that week, making sure that my diary was in there, making sure that my team knew what they had to get ready. Like it was Sunday is the day, because then on Monday you're not starting your week going, that overwhelmed feeling. But I think everyone's different. But I think the kind of common theme that's running here is using the end of your day to prepare for the next sets you off to a good foot.
Yeah, agreed. I do exactly the same on a Sunday evening. I get myself ready for the week. Very protective over Saturdays and a lot of the day on a Sunday, because I spend, like you, lots of time away from family and the kids. So I make sure I give them that time and I'm fully present. And then, as present I possibly can be. And then I make sure I get ready for the week on a Sunday evening.
Yeah, 100%. And then, I think it's you start without that overwhelm. Like there's a lot of people that kind of get up 15 minutes before they've got to wake up, running around. But that started the night before. They were probably up a bit too late watching TV. They probably didn't have a bit of a set routine in that they had, and they start off on the back foot. And that's not a good way to start your day. Missing your alarm, running around like a headless chicken. It means that it means that you're not getting off on the right foot. Right. And actually, what normally happens is you just piss off everyone around you as well.
Yeah. But you just can't show up properly.
No, you can't, can you? But yeah, well, look, I hope that sheds some light for people on what it is actually like as an advisor and the kind of things that we were looking at. And if you are kind of bumbling along, it shows that a financial planner is part planner, part coach, part entrepreneur, part counsellor. and hoping that it gives, advice to aspiring advisors who really want to level up. It's not just about money, it's about people, trust and consistency. And, that's what a day in the life of a £250 million advisor or advisors, planners, looks like. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Please put any comments in as well of anything that you want us to cover or any questions you got. Be great to hear from you, and have a great day ahead. Thanks very much.